Hello, Simone. This is going to be an interesting episode. We're going to be talking about the psychology of OnlyFans and
Mm.
how it used psychology to beat the other sex apps online. And because it's a fascinating story, we'll be mostly reading a piece that Ayla wrote on this.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
Friend of the show. She's been on episodes before. Really, really fascinating piece on how psychologically and economically OnlyFans outcompeted the traditional model of online streaming,
Hmm.
and how it created a marketplace in which the male and female roles were switched, in which females generally, when you're dating or something like that, females are the people who guard sexuality. Like
Yeah,
there's fewer
gatekeepers of sex.
gatekeepers of sex. There's
Yeah.
fewer of them that want sex than men. Generally, very few men are going to turn down sex if women are going around asking them in a bar or something like that, which means that, men need to reach out more. They need to be more prolific in how they reach out, and women will see them as creepy when they reach out. Where OnlyFans flipped that, where women needed to start reaching out to men because men became the gatekeepers of
Mm.
money.
Yeah.
Women were using their sexuality in this way. And so women needed to like aggressively cross post on Reddit and stuff like that, and then reach out to guys in a way that guys saw as creepy. So we'll talk about how it
Aha.
created this inverted sexual marketplace, which is really fascinating. All right. So here she's talking about the older way that apps used to work. You get money through two methods, either live tips or the room, typically witnessed by all the other members of chat, or you can get taken private, a one-on-one pay flat rate minute show. Different campsites focused on varying points on the spectrum between these two methods, but everyone knew the serious money was in the live tipping. Privates capped you at around $3 a minute, but tip based income could average up to $20 a minute. So, this is really interesting. So, the private room wasn't what you wanted. What you
Yeah.
wanted was to be in an environment where people were tipping, which I
Yes.
wouldn't have expected in this older model. So, you had to word it differently for the audience. You had these like rooms where you would act for a large group of people, and that group of people would attempt to tip you, but individuals from that group could pay extra to get access to you individually.
Yeah.
But the live room was seen as more profitable, which I think inverts what a lot of people would expect.
But that's because Ayla discovered early on that you could play people off each other. It was
Yeah,
a group
so
dynamic.
yeah, to keep going here, she talks about this. The psychology behind high earners for live streaming went something like this. You, the aforementioned hot girl, have an established audience of regulars in your audience. Each man can see the other men talking to you and giving you money. The
Hmm.
men are implicitly ranked by dominance, which is determined by how much attention you pay to them, which is in turn determined by how much money they give you. This leads to whales, and soon 80% of your income is from one to two big players. These
Wow.
people are incentivized not just by making you happy, but by making you happy in front of all the other men. The system
Mm.
is competitive. To be a good cam girl, take your biggest tippers and put their names in lights behind you so everyone else can see them. Call them heroes, knights, grant official titles. Only the richest will survive. I signed up for OnlyFans in 2017 before Leo took over, and I thought it sucked. I posted some cute videos or whatever, but nobody used it. The
Hmm.
tips were negligible against the 10K months I was accustomed to. The problems were obvious to me. It was impossible to have whales compete against each other. What were the incentives for big spending? Of course, I was wrong, unable to see outside my local minima. OnlyFans ended up dominating, decimating the previous camming girl landscapes. Nowadays, camming audiences are a fraction of their previous highs, and many of the girls who still cam use it explicitly to funnel into their OnlyFans. So, how
Hmm.
did it succeed so hard? So first, fascinating that she sets up this world before OnlyFans, where you made money by paying men against each other and even like putting their name up in big flashing lights and everything. What's
Wow.
interesting to me is this is clearly playing to a sexual subtype that doesn't include me or most men. I would find it really gross doing this. I mean, keep in mind, like, I'm a man. I don't want my wife out there like showing herself to tons of other men, right? Like, that's not awesome. So even if I was the guy who is paying the most and getting the most public attention from this woman, I still know all the other men are seeing her and giving her money.
Well, so you also would have no interest in going to a strip club, right?
No, it's a disgusting idea.
So it's kind
Why
of the
would
same
that?
thing. Like, there's clearly, though, an audience of people who seem to enjoy that.
That's it. Okay, hold on. I'm walking this back in my brain. So the pre-OnlyFans sites were targeting the strip club audience, but in an
Yeah.
online
Yeah.
context.
Yes, it's like an online strip club with
But
more interesting
OnlyFans,
dynamics. It's way more intellectual.
yeah, is targeting a new audience and in a new way. So
Mhm.
I'm wondering, how do you think OnlyFans won? You can see the problem that she has laid out here.
Mhm.
How do you think OnlyFans was able to succeed where these other sites weren't, given the situation before the new CEO?
I'm stumped.
I'll
I'm not a
give you a
CEO.
hint before we go further, and I'm gonna see if you can break it. Do
Okay.
not think about what the audience wants. The audience isn't actually that important to this. They might have a slight preference for the new model, but it's not what drove the change. Everything has to do with the cost of advertising.
Mm. Did it make really low payment thresholds? Was it about driving women more to them and then the women would promote it? I really don't know.
Well, we'll see. I'm not gonna give an answer because now the audience is hooked, maybe. Um, so I will put 2 images on stage here where she is making little drawings. I love Ayla's terrible drawings where she does, like, the big boobs and the outfit and everything. And so just her one drawing, I actually need to describe this drawing rather than send it to you because 'cause it'll be so fun for the podcast and people. She's saying, "This is the way camming works." And it is a woman on stage in a throne, and then 3 naked men with erect penises going like this on a like, a award stage, like number 1, number 2, number 3,
Oh
like
god.
gold, silver, and bronze, and then all
Oh,
the other men watching them being awarded top simp and the
oh
woman on
my
the throne.
goodness. Okay.
What I would say works about this in my mind is I can see how this normalizes simping culture.
Hmm.
And I also think that this might be something that could get bred out of the population. Because if I just had and
Um,
always had no interest in this could be like a genetic subtype of men that doesn't relate to all men. I should look
and
into
who will be perfectly satisfied to not have a permanent long-term partner because they can just go on OnlyFans?
that they are satisfied with being the most dominant or appreciated male in a group of males that all have sexual access to one woman
Mhm.
or access to like I think what's probably breaking here is whatever the thing is where a guy likes showing off a woman that he is proud of, like, being in a monogamous relationship with to other
Uh-huh.
men,
Huh.
that might be the instinct that's breaking here.
I don't know. I don't think I mean, it might just be I've been thinking a lot lately about how you can smell and taste certain things that I can't. And that we know that, for example, there are genes that have been demonstrated to show people can either taste or not taste certain types of bitterness, for example, certain compounds that can, for some people, taste very bitter, and for other people, they just don't because they don't have the gene for that. And part of me feels like there's just some kind of stimulus receptor or disgust receptor that is turned off in some people or turned on in some people that makes this genre either appealing or abhorrent. And so this is more about
You're right, it's not an arousal receptor that keeps me from liking this, it's a disgust receptor.
mhm.
Feel disgust at these thoughts, and other people appear to not have this disgust system active.
And because I yeah, I mean, I think if you don't have a disgust response to this, it is a much it is a much lower stakes, much more convenient and readily available way to engage in sexual activity than dating or finding a partner and all that.
Fascinating. I also wonder other guys, if you shout out in the comments if this is accurate. Am I weird for just like not finding the idea of a strip club arousing at all? Like I have been in them before, like when guys were doing like their trips or whatever in Vegas, and the whole thing felt super gross. Like not unarousing, but actively disgusting. Like the smells were gross, the women looked low class. I feel like a real um,
Ouch.
no, this is another thing. I feel like revulsion at like this level of low class.
I think my closest experience, I think I have a similar response, but all I can go on, bear with me here, is Disney character brunches, where you attempt to eat a meal in peace. Well, apparently not in peace in a Disney themed restaurant while characters in costume and in character walk up to you and mess with you and shove food in your face. And
It that's
some
the
people love
great
that.
that
They
is
love that.
exactly what it's like.
The whole
Actually, I
family
wonder if
loves
there's a
that.
correlation. Okay,
Yeah.
I hated those as a kid too.
Yeah.
I have never liked, like, on a Disney
Like,
ship
you are
where, like,
assaulting
they
me? Why
dress
are
up.
you do not make eye contact with me. Do not
Do
make
not
eye
make eye
contact with me.
contact, do not
Yeah.
hug me, do not come near me. I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a correlation. Is there anyone, now this would be an interesting experiment for the comments.
Yeah.
If
If you like OnlyFans and or strip clubs, are you also kind of cool with like taking a photo with a character at a theme park?
yeah, are you also, like, into theme park characters? If
Mhm.
you hate theme park characters, do you also hate strip clubs?
This would
And
be such a
OnlyFans?
discovery.
Like, do these 3 things correlate? Very interesting idea. I actually
Yeah,
also
but I
run
mean,
a survey.
basically Disney character brunches are strip clubs for kids. They're strip clubs.
They are!
Yeah.
That's what they are, yes. Okay.
Ah.
So then well, we might find that they're not, but, like, that running
I'm
hypothesis.
I'm 94% sure of this, Malcolm. It's so strong within me, but whatever.
Okay, so then she did a little thing of what OnlyFans and how it works, and it's a bunch of men in booths with, like, things on either side of them, so they can't see that all of the other men are looking at the woman, and then the woman is in front of them all.
Okay, yeah.
And she goes, OnlyFans maintains the dynamic that made camming so successful, direct live connection with a girl, but manages to make it feel individualized. Instead of having to pay a lot of money to rank against other men, you can pay a little money and enter a pussy paradise with not a single other man in sight. OnlyFans leaves
Mm.
its design towards isolating the men from each other. If you're a
Oh, so they
horny
took
dude,
away the strip club element and they
yes.
made it the girlfriend experience element. Oh.
If you're a horny dude, the existence of other horny dudes is a fleeting shadow, a
Mm.
ghost only hinted at implicitly through the like counts on photos or occasional subscriber count numbers for the
Oh.
rare girls who make it public. So girls don't even have to make their subscriber counts public.
Wow. Okay, so
From the
they discovered the turnoff effect and were like, "Let's fix that. This is unnecessary."
Yeah. From the girl's perspective, OF is designed to make this easy. There's a bunch of settings for messages and filters of who gets those messages so that 1,000 brand new men may at once receive the blessed, hey, babe, you up, a virtue real girl gazing directly into their eyes. Just him and her. Horny together forever. Maybe
Oh.
OnlyFans is more like, and then she shows the one girl cloned in front of all the stalls. This is likely why agencies have become such a strong force behind the most successful OnlyFans models. They offer a duplication service. The way agencies work is this: you sign up for an agency and pledge some percentage of your OF income, and the agency takes over handling a lot of the trivial labor involved in copying and
Ah.
pasting the sense
Uh-huh.
of your personalized connection across the stable of men. I've
Mm.
never used an agency, but I was curious how they worked back in 2020 when I had a bunch of publicity about OF earnings. I started
Mm.
getting pornily headhunted and ended up talking to a man who claimed to run the largest OF agency at the time. I asked him 1,000 questions about how it worked. He said he had rented out a cheap warehouse somewhere outside of New York and staffed it with a bunch of minimum wage workers. These workers would log into their clients' accounts and chat as them. The chatters got a quick sheet with a bunch of facts about the girls they were impersonating to make
Okay.
sure they were being consistent about basic life things like general personality slash tone, where the girls lived, etc. Their
Mhm.
primary goal was to sell content directly to the men through DMs. He says, you have to set your monthly subscription price to $5. I didn't like this idea. I was at $19 and I didn't want to seem like I was devaluing myself.
Yeah.
No, we have the data. Girls' income steadily increase as you drop the subscription price up to about $5, but below that, they decrease again. He was running a very different business model than me. I saw a monthly subscription price as an important part of my income, but he viewed it as trivial. The real money was in the DMs. Upselling was the goal. The purpose of the $5 a month sub price was to be low enough to get as many men as possible, but high enough to filter out the men who were too stingy to spend anything on DMs. You didn't
Mm.
want your minimum wage workers wasting valuable time trying to sell a guy who wasn't going to put out after all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I this is just so fascinating, these different business models even within the OnlyFans environments. I couldn't see it at the time, but he had touched on the same principle that was causing cam girls to earn more through tips as opposed to flat minimum rate. Building your business model around a monthly subscription results in a ceiling on how much each guy is willing to pay. If your model is custom built, milking every guy with direct response connection. The sky's the limit. I also love that this is how Andrew Tate got his start, is pretending to be girls online. I often
Yes.
remark on this, but like people don't realize like Andrew Tate isn't like I like we have the video on Andrew Tate where I was like, young horny men, the other men will be out there and say, I get you. I will do, things to make you good. Jordan Peterson will cry for you. Andrew Tate will get down on his hands and knees and pretend to, because that's how he made his money. Oh, yeah, I like that, Daddy.
He's a
That's what
closer.
Andrew Tate
He's a
would do. We gotta
closer.
Just give me a chance.
All right. I'll trust you. But only if you will perform oral sex on me.
What?
Right here, right now.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I am serious. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. And go. You are dedicated.
But he knows what some types of men want. And yeah, I mean, that would make sense to me. You would want, we always talked about dick pics being the most feminist
thing you can
thing
do,
for
yeah.
a man to do, because they're just sending to women what they want, which implies the assumption that they believe that men and women are the same. And that's so beautiful.
Feminists.
Yeah. So
We're doing this without you!
Now hold on, team. Gary has already proven to me that he is 100% committed to the team. He proved it last night by sucking my cock.
All right, come on, team, we gotta find that stage!
Since then, agencies have only grown. Probably the vast majority of high-earning OnlyFans accounts are being run by agencies, which take a substantial fraction of the money. The amount varies widely, but often a minimum of 50% on top of the 20% OnlyFans already takes.
oh my gosh. Wait,
Agencies are-
but if this is happening, and it must be fairly well known, at least if you're into.
Oh, hold on. It gets worse given what you're saying here. You're going to love this.
Okay.
I joked, my comment was the top comment under this where I said, Ayla's world in this blog is just Ayla constantly expecting more from humanity and being disappointed. Agencies are more customizable, more sophisticated. One of the more full service agencies I talked to would do everything. They'd fly a girl out to a fancy Airbnb for a few days, shoot a huge amount of content, and then send her back. They do all the chatting, splice up and organize her content, build her payment structure, funnel in new subscribers. She'd take 10 to 20% of the proceeds and never log into OnlyFans once.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, so drips. This is how they do it. Eventually, the commonly known dominant strategy became known as drips. You'll film an opening clip, typically 10 to 30 seconds, where you said something vague and indicating horniness. Then you'd film clips in succession, showing a progression of you stripping, teasing, all the way down to masturbating, and then climax. The goal was to get a set of videos that could be sent as though they were plausibly being filmed live.
Oh
People
boy.
would send out the first video in mass, a certain percentage of subscribers would respond, and then you'd say sexy things and then send out a second video for a certain trivial price, typically $3 or so to unlock. A certain percentage of those subscribers would pay to unlock the video. Then you sext a bit with them. Then send out the next video in the series, usually a slightly increased price. Eventually, you work your way up to the final video, typically a climax, which could be 30 seconds in length and often sold for $20 to $30. I asked a manager once if he typically had the girls film multiple drips at different times of day, because if you have light pouring through a window for a girl who supposedly lives in a place that'll dark, it'd be a dead giveaway that it's not live. I love Ayla. This is so Ayla, just so earnest and like data driven. He said, no, it doesn't matter. The men basically never notice or care.
Oh
At
my
one-
God. What? So this, oh God. Okay.
At one point, trying to understand agencies more, I created an account of a horny man, attached a credit card, and bought access to high-earning girl I knew was
Okay.
run by chatters and
Okay.
brought through a drip series. I love Ayla. She's so dedicated, pretending to be a man, spending her money,
For the
pretending
cause.
to be a
For the
man on one of these
cause.
accounts.
For
Right, for
science.
the cause. I want to understand, how does this work? And this is why I love Ayla so much. She's just such a a pure person.
She
at
cares
who
about
she is.
truth. She's the most wholesome person I think I've ever met. She cares about
I
truth.
agree.
She's earnest. She's well
Incredibly
intentioned.
wholesome.
She's caring. I
She's
did not.
100% honest about who she is, what she cares about, and she might be wrong about those things, but she is honest about them
No,
too.
if she learns otherwise, though, she'll change her view. She just
Yeah.
cares about the truth, and she also just is a very pure, kind person who
Anyway.
doesn't mean anyone any harm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and she might look. Her ideology might end up hurting people, and we'll do a separate episode on this. I want to talk about how the EA community is basically a funnel into becoming a sex worker for women.
Oh my God.
Because I've met some people who this happened to, and I want to talk about it because I think it
That's
is
gonna be an
a basic
episode.
thing.
Okay.
But I don't
Wow.
think that Ayla intended any or ever thought of any negative consequences from her actions, and she did.
Well,
think
she's
that-
certainly not telling anyone else to live her life.
exactly. But other people see it as a model and then attempt to. But anyway, continue.
Oh, she makes it look good. Yeah.
Being a man with her credit card on OnlyFans doing a drip can campaign,
Okay.
it was shockingly bad. She texted me something like, "Hey, baby, you horny?" And I was like, "Yes." And she said, "Let me show you what I'm doing." And then she sent me a video of her in what was clearly a well-lit studio. She was wearing stilettos and dressed in a skimpy Santa outfit with perfectly curled hair and heavy makeup,
Ugh.
bending down to show off her ass in a performative pose.
No
There was
semblance
just-
of reality here. No semblance of spontaneity. No semblance.
There was no way she just filmed that. It was insane, but it
just
didn't
hanging
matter.
out in my Santa costume with my.
No, I love that
hair
this bothers Ayla. The practicality of it is what bothers her. This doesn't make sense. Why are men believing this?
I just love studio lighting. It's like my whole house.
My whole house is. I just happen to wear a Santa outfit today because I'm feeling.
It was
sexy.
laundry day. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just.
This is my real voice. And the whole sexy baby thing isn't an act. I'm a very sexy baby. I can't help it if men are attracted to me. Like that homeless guy. He likes what he sees.
Okay, that could be for me.
It's not. It's for her.
I know.
That is wild, though. I can't believe.
I'm just a sexy baby. Oh, that scene. Okay.
Hmm.
It took me a long time. I love Aella. It took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that for most men, they don't care about reality when it comes to supposedly connective porn. They aren't trafficking you for signs of genuine enjoyment. To them, your personality is simply a vessel with which to certify that your breasts are genuine. I know a girl who is typically very warm and direct, made personal connections with men who sub to her. She experimented by making a free page, a type of OF where you don't have to subscribe, but instead charging higher money for access to individual stuff on the feed. And
Okay.
on this, she hired a real trashy chatter who would spam men nonstop with stuff like, "Hey, BB, you all caps,
Oh,
my pussy
God.
is horny, XOXO, look at me wet now." And yeah, her income shot up.
Oh
My
no.
point is the fact that men don't actually care about individuation much really lends itself to the stability of a connection. 100 guys will think the things a girl says in her drip video are in fact filmed live and directly uniquely for them, and could be completely unable to notice that it's not that blazing daylight outside despite being 10 p.m. That
Do you
she
think
never says
Horniness,
their
like
name in
being
a
in a
video.
horny state reduces IQ. Like, some studies have found that when people work in a group above a certain size of people, certain number of people, their IQ collectively
And being
drops.
horny also drops IQ. So
Right?
yeah,
Okay. So, like, part of this is just like they're not all there. So these aren't necessarily uniquely stupid people. They're compromised.
I think we forget how stupid the average person is.
Yeah.
And I think that for whatever arousal pathway this is that they're masturbating doesn't require 100% belief that she's really doing it for them.
Yeah.
Or maybe they believe out of, I don't know. Look, a lot of sites survive was like, look at these attractive girls in your areas. And like any person with like a shred of IQ knows there's not attractive
Those
girls.
old ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Singles in your area.
Okay. So she
Yeah.
goes, you can duplicate an entire human with low resolution as long as she appears vaguely fertile. They will never notice.
Oh my God.
I love Ayla so disappointed. She goes, I am making this point because you might naively think that they're dumb. Here she's talking about the people who run OnlyFans. She had this whole section on like the whole thing about them ending porn was completely fake. It was done for to get stuff. But she goes, to do this was their marketing strategy, but they're not dumb. And so she goes, what is OnlyFans marketing strategy? This is how they succeeded. Their marketing strategy was to do nothing. Sure, they have ads, but have you ever seen an OnlyFans ad by OnlyFans in the wild? And here she points out, you will see OnlyFans ads. Well, I guess other people do. I've never seen one, but she
I
points out
haven't
an
either.
OnlyFans ad here that's for like a specific, I guess the like websites know me well enough to know that I wouldn't be interested in this, but they're by specific OnlyFans models who are paying, or model companies
That
who
makes
are paying
sense.
to advertise those models'
And that's how you
OnlyFans.
know you won as a company, when your users do the advertising for you.
Exactly. Before OnlyFans, websites themselves were responsible for providing traffic to their own creators. With MFC and with every other campsite, the front page features a long scrolling list of models splayed out for your browsing pleasure. MFC was responsible for getting men onto the website, typically via ads on porn sites, after which girls would compete against each other for capturing the attention of those men. And competition was fierce! Exclamation point. The algorithm on the front page prioritized income per hour of camming, such that if you were online, you had to hustle or risk dropping in visibility and thus dropping even more in income. There were leaderboards for income per month where you could see the girls ranked against each other by who managed to earn the most out of funneled men. This whole thing was intense and distracting. Everyone's effort was focused on competing inside of the system. As far as I know, I was the only girl who tried marketing outside of MMSC. And famously, that's how she got a lot of people. She learned how to market on Reddit and stuff before anyone else was marketing on Reddit. It was her famous gnomes post and stuff. Generating my own funnels on Reddit. But even then, I did this more as a side project, not as a main source of income. By contrast, OnlyFans' internal discovery system is pitiful, mostly limited to a small suggested system on the side.
So
I never
you
once
really, well, that further incentivizes. It's OnlyFans clearly stating to their their provider users,
yeah,
you have to advertise yourself.
you
on our
have to
site.
advertise and thus advertise the site outside. I
Smart.
never
It's
once
smart.
heard of an OF girl rely on marketing strategy that involved internal OF discovery systems. No, instead, OF turns all of its creators into their own ads. If you're a girl who signed up for OF, made your account, you might sit there and think, now what? Nobody subscribes to your account. OF does not hand you any views by virtue of being on the platform. If you want a man to pay you, you have to go out there and find him. You have to be the ad. I cannot overstate the degree to which this radically transformed the online landscape practically overnight. An explosion of OnlyFans ads went off in every corner of the internet as girls migrated en masse to throw their own naked photos in front of the faces of every man they could find. Sexy subreddits I used to post nudes to with no issues suddenly started instituting rules against me and every other girl who would link to her OF account in her bio. Instagram started banning accounts that linked to OF. And then sometimes even accounts that linked to any other website, which then led to OF. Even FetLife, famously and loudly pro-sex work, ended up conceding by introducing the quote-unquote hide sellers option on their front page
Ooh la
so people
la.
could filter out any girls posting tatas for profit. The sentiment towards online nude girls went from fond neutral to outright hostile. As an aside, I do find this kind of amusing. Getting paid for sex places women in a traditionally masculine role. They become the pursuer, trying to extract something they want from the opposite gender, competing against themselves to be the most attractive to otherwise uninterested targets. In a sense, this forced masculine areas of the internet into adopting defensive feminine norms as they banned any predatory, quote unquote, behavior and started socially deriding any sellers as being gross or embarrassing. But anyway, very similar to the way people treat men online in a historic context, which then she says, but anyway, I suspect that if OF put effort into internal discovery, this would likely destroy the motivation of a lot of its users from doing their own marketing. This is also likely why OF can get away with taking only 20% commissions as opposed to 50 to 80%. They save a ton by not running ads, which is what other sites are paying.
Yeah. They're just hosting it.
Fascinating, right?
That is super
OnlyFans
fascinating.
won by not having a good internal discovery system. Something she
Hmm.
point out elsewhere in the piece, which a lot of people get wrong, is they think that OnlyFans is like a bunch of like internet entrepreneurs. She's like, no, these are like OG porn people from like the old days of like the creepiest of OG porn sites, the most predatory of OG porn sites who now own the site. She's like, these guys know what they're doing. They were not about to ban porn on OnlyFans. This is not a site run by people who don't know what's up. They understand men. But I find the psychology of men who get off on this new form very interesting, that they don't seem to care that these are real women. But I mean, then is any man who's masturbating to porn, do they care about real women? Do they care about like, I think we sort of knew that men didn't really care. It's how much is needed to maintain the illusion from the perspective of maximizing an
Yeah,
arousal.
it's so token at this point that I feel like a leap to AI is, once it becomes good enough, just going to be like, why not?
Well, I bet most OnlyFans are already being done by AI because
No,
it's just
yeah,
so
for
much better.
sure. But I mean, I'm also talking about fully non-human personalities too, not just taking the photos of a woman, but just doing the full thing
Yeah,
generated.
100%.
We'll see.
This is where we are as a country, as a world. Agencies primarily handle sexting, but funneling new eyes in is also part of the stuff they profit from. I don't know much about this, but I get the impression from various calls that pre-OF big multi-million follower Instagram accounts, typically meme accounts, would make money by selling ads disguised as not ads. There was no visible platform for this. The guys who did this would sell these manually in jealously guarded Telegram chats. After OF, they pivoted to boobies, posting thirst traps described as casual memes, along with the rest. Some of these big Insta accounts would switch to founding agencies, or people from agencies somehow made their way in and they would make deals. Quote, post my girl on your page and we pay $400. I wanted to get into these groups and I tried, but it seems like there were no actual models allowed in these groups and I couldn't find anyone to let me in. If someone was managing multiple girls, he'd often use these together. It was pretty common to see a thirst trap sexy girl go follow her page, find it was private with a message, I'll approve followers first, but you have to first follow other sexy model. You navigate to the other model's page and she'd have the same message. You went through all the way down to follow every model's page in order to get in, presumably after being approved by all of them. Fascinating strategy. Sounds terrible though.
Not
Anyway,
my thing.
love you. Not
Oh,
my
you
thing
too.
either.
Welcome. Okay. Poor.
I love you to death, Simone. We will create our own. Did you know that like 20% of OnlyFans content, I think it was like 20 to 25% when I was looking, are actually created for safe for work? Like cooking stuff and stuff like that?
Oh, I know. Yeah, like Ayla said in some of her posts, I think that like her sister did stuff, or in interviews, her sister did stuff on OnlyFans, but just like humor stuff, like dressed in a banana costume, nothing nothing explicit. So
What should we do on OnlyFans? What should be our?
I just don't want to be
I just do
and
not.
it's not a prudish thing. It's just like
It's prudish for me, kind of. I mean,
I
if
really
you want
hate
enough money, I do it.
I'm fine with you on OnlyFans. I can't look at myself in a mirror and tolerate what I see. So there's no way. I think you have to like be cool.
You are the least sexualized woman on the internet. Look at how
Yeah.
much you're hiding, like any potential cleavage, any
No
potential
skin.
sexuality.
No
I
skin.
wonder if people like you're with a partner who people know you're married to, so
Mhm.
you don't even like get like the like we don't have Simone Simps. Like it's weird.
No.
Well, I mean, for
There's
online,
some
you used to have
some
Simps
fans
back
of
in the
you
day.
though. So
You used to
I
get people.
still think that we, once we do merch, we'll just have to sell the Malcolm dildo. It'll be great.
Here's the question. You
Yeah.
used to get Simps back in the day, right? You must have. When she was
It-
the director of marketing of the 45th highest traffic website. She'd have people write like fan fictions about her.
Yeah, but I didn't realize at the time, probably because of autism, that it had anything to do with sexual interest. And so I just auto responded, like an AI chatbot responding to people. It's not thinking, this person is attempting to. No, it's just like, this person has sent a message of greeting. I will send an equally friendly or equally
Simone, you are
respectful.
post wall. You're a good like 8
Yeah.
years post wall. We had mentioned this in another one.
Oh,
'Cause you're what,
thanks.
37 now? So like
I'm
wall is
37,
what,
but is
29 or
Wall
32?
29? I thought Wall.
Yeah, I mean, what look, the wall is are you fertile? Like, are you submissive and breedable? That's what guys want, submissive
Mhm.
and breedable. Okay.
Hey,
or
I've
dominant
always
and
felt like I'm
very
62
guys.
years old. So I will only feel comfortable in my body once I'm 62 years old. I'm
dominant and
trans old. And so I'm gonna have dysmorphia until I'm
no,
finally
I think that submissive and breedable is such like a tight description of what it is that men are actually looking for. When they say
no,
like post
you need to
wall,
be like
that's post fertility.
19 to 21. And that's kind of it, actually. And
And
female.
somebody else wrote that you always see your own partner at the age that you fell in love with them at. And
Oh,
so I wonder if like I'm delusional about how attractive you are. Like maybe you're
no,
just not attractive
no.
at all.
I
There's
see
no
you at the
sexual.
age that you are now because you've never been hotter in my entire existence. You just get prettier every day. You get more chiseled, a little bit more
I actually do,
sculptured.
by the way.
You
Like I am not
do.
as attractive
Yeah.
in older stuff.
I think while biologically I have aged, I am happier with who I am now. And so I look better now than I did when I
Yeah.
was young and when you first met me. So I think you're also doing better. Plus, I think a huge portion of attractiveness is in the end someone's self-confidence. So when I do finally hit age 62 and above, I will be even more attractive because I'll be like, I'm finally in my body. Like, and then I'll just look great because I'll be feeling so great. Like I just was coming across new
I don't want to have
research.
sex with a 6-year-old. Who am I supposed to be having sex with when you're 60, Simone?
23-year-olds. Obvious. Get with the program, Malcolm. What does every other like a post
Elon getting
60-year-old
that his
man
sister
do?
pregnant. I don't know if they had sex.
No,
So.
no, 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 no. I'm pretty sure that any child that Elon Musk is having at this point is via IVF.
Yeah, given his age.
I mean, I also think he has I mean, if he wants it, he can have an active sex life with whoever he wants, but I think he's having kids via IVF. So, but that doesn't matter because I have no idea who like
look at the goblin mode he's gone on the government. Like there was a great breakdown of his tweets that showed like he's up 24/7. I bet this man has not had sex for months. He's just going goblin
yeah, I
mode
guess
on-
if you look at his tweet schedule, unless he's tweeting through sexual acts, he's not getting a lot. Yeah. But he's saving the government, okay?
No, he's just completely dedicated to fixing the country right now. But how many times do you get an opportunity to fix the largest global empire right before it collapses? Like imagine. I actually want to go back in time. Okay, the triumvirate's about to happen. Caesar's about to come to power. The empire has become corrupt. The senators, there's no way really forward to turn into an empire. Out of nowhere, time-traveling Elon Musk comes in and goes goblin mode, fixing all of their bureaucracy and corruption.
Punches Tiberius in the throat. Yeah.
5 years, and the Roman Republic lives another 100 years. Like, or 500 years even. Who knows, you know?
Yeah, I think the key would be to change the trajectory mid to late into Augustus Caesar's career. I think that while he's known at overseeing the height of it, I think he also
Well, I mean, keep in mind, Augustus Caesar has that after they'd already translated to an imperial system. I'm saying, can you save the democracy?
do you want to save the democracy?
Was
Was the democracy working so well?
Oh, Curtis Yarvin's beginning to influence you here.
It's-
You're
oh.
coming away with a bit of a monarchist stance. I see why they didn't want him on stage at this conference.
It's very addictive. What can you say? You know?
I'm just saying, Baron Trump seems like a cool guy from what I've
He-
seen so far.
Honestly, yeah, I want to subscribe to that YouTube channel. I want to hit the bell. I want to know what's
You know
going
what
on
I'm
there.
seeing increasingly is conservatives saying they hope Trump runs again. I saw Asmongold say this, that he wants to see Trump run again. In the next election.
Well, I think this has been a very good run for him, thanks largely to Trump. So I would, if I were him, be commercially.
You know, it'd be fun.
incentivized.
You know how to really F with progressives?
What?
Because they'd be like, oh, legally have JD Vance run and Trump as his VP.
That would be so cute. Yeah.
All right. Love
Or
you to death, Ron.
JD Vance run with Barron Trump as his VP. That would be so great.
Oh, that would be.
I would be ready for that. I'd be ready for that.
I'd be ready for that. I'd be ready for that.
Or they like Trump at the end pardons Luigi Mangione.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Because that he's going for something. The way he's styling himself in court clearly implies
look. And
this man's
people-
playing a longer game. He's not
Trump's
out.
the one who's keeping TikTok from being banned. Imagine him. This is why he's soaring with young people. You know,
Yeah.
he's making some pretty suave moves here. Oh no, hold on. I don't think you can pardon Luigi Mangione because I think the crime is a state crime rather than a federal crime.
Oh,
But if it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
federal crime, pardon Luigi Mangione, make him your running mate.
Oh.
Progressives would have a complete aneurysm, and I would be here for it.
All I'm saying is we need to keep updated on what he does next because no one grooms their eyebrows like that without having a big master plan.
Oh, did you see his shoes with his like fancy shoes with the
chic.
shackles on his feet?
Oh my God. I know. Now you just want to get like a good pair of leather loafers with the foot shackles.
Advertising an OnlyFans account. I swear. Oh my God. You want to know who'd be the biggest OnlyFans cleanup? Is Luigi.
Yeah, from jail. Oh my God.
Number of girls thirsting over him, and he's like a crazy murderer type, and he's like, there was like a whole category. I think we did an episode on this already.
He could fund the entire jail. I mean, I heard that there's like maggots in their food. It's not a very nice place. He could literally pay.
The OF so a whole category of Luigi Mangione fan fiction has erupted literally within like 6 hours of the shooting. And it's like a really popular category apparently for girls, of course. Like guys aren't reading this.
Well, it's nice to see at least like a younger, attractive activist. You know, the last young activists we have not really brought us, and I'm talking both progressive and conservative, they've not been exactly heartthrob material. You know,
well, I was actually pointing out that there hasn't been a single urban monoculture rise to fame since Greta Thunberg.
And she's not heartthrob material.
She's not heartthrob, but even like AOC was before or at the same time as Greta Thunberg. You just have not had anybody in like the last, I'd say like 8 years or something, really be able to rise to fame by appealing to the urban monoculture, which is in part why Harry and Meghan bombed so bad. But like, this culture has been dead for longer than I think the public realizes.
Well, that's the great thing about Louis is he
to.
appeals to both leftists and some rightists. He's there for everyone. We don't condone violence.
I don't condone violence unless it's done to the people of Hamas.
Oh. No, that's still going to get us in trouble. Damn it.
That's still going to get us in trouble. I'm just saying.
Trouble. Tonight, do you want dan dan noodles, or if I have some left, gochujang chicken, and I still need to thaw out steak? I'm sorry. Or you can have pot stickers, or you can have a little bit of a gochujang chicken and pot stickers, or pot stickers
and pot stickers
and pot sticker. You want both?
If you can, or I'll take the other one. I don't care. Like any of the things you make are amazing, Simone.
I'm thinking about doing dan dan noodles and pot stickers because then I could give some noodles to the kids too. They've been talking about it, like rolling up an epic noodle. And if I do that for them, they'd be really happy. So remember how Octavian just spreads them along the length of the large dining table and then rolls them into large wheels and then eats them with delight.
Hold on. If I was a girl, would I have an OnlyFans? It depends on what age I was. Would I have one today? I mean, I guess if I thought enough people wanted it and I could make a lot of money from it. This is the thing. You can make a lot of money on OnlyFans. Especially if I'm already married.
You have to work really hard, though. You have to be on for hours, right?
If I didn't have to, no, you just have to be famous enough. If I didn't have to worry about it hurting my future marriage prospects, like you didn't care, I'd be like, we're switching our genders here, right?
Oh, yeah. No, we'd be switching our genders. I don't think OnlyFans is a really prosperous place for men. I wonder how many happily married women there are on OnlyFans. We wouldn't know because it would be toxic for them.
Famous one, the ones who were like I don't know what you call it, parents, owners of Peanut the Squirrel. They made most of their money through OnlyFans. And I remember when we were doing that story, it was like something like, oh, well, we make something like 90,000 a month through OnlyFans. Whoa. And I heard that and I was like, okay. Like I'm like iffy on OnlyFans myself. And I heard that and I was like, I could definitely, if it was me and my wife, whatever, even if it's weird, that's $90,000, man.
That is crazy. Oh my God.
And so they made their fame through Peanuts and they sent people to OnlyFans, I think. Are they? I don't know.
Oh, so that's how they got the people on OnlyFans? Is people came for the squirrel and they stayed for the raunchy sex. Is that it? Maybe
don't.
people into squirrels are also more likely to be open with themselves about their kinks and consuming.
I think they said they didn't use the squirrel to promote it, so I could be I just know that they had both. They were famous online and OnlyFans stuff, and I think the online fame, cross promotes.
It
And
could
there was
not have
there was
hurt.
actually a story that they had been sniped by another OnlyFans star who was jealous of them, and that's what
Okay.
got Peanuts killed.
The rival OnlyFans star
Yeah, rival
narked on
OnlyFans.
them.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
that's the
bad. That's
rumor.
bad.
Okay, I'll get started here.